everyone, it's Meg and today I'm going to be doing a good old-fashioned book haul. So as you can see, I'm in a different setup and I'm just chilling on the floor with my books because it is chill and it is lockdown in the UK when I'm filming this, and I just thought I'd sit on the floor like we are in fashion, like with jumpers and amazing socks, or slippers should I say, that are sequined, and we're just going to sit on my floor and talk about some books that I have recently purchased. I said in my last haul video, which went up either end of January or beginning of February, that I was going to go on a book buying ban, but obviously that didn't happen. But this book haul is considerably smaller compared to the past couple that I have shared on my channel. I've got about 12 books, which is great. I wanted to do it now before it got any bigger because doing those thumbnails is a struggle. So I'm just going to share with you guys all the books I have got recently, because this just seems like such a fun, comforting video, especially in this time that's going on, and I hope everybody is doing okay and you are staying healthy and safe. Let's just start talking about these books, because otherwise we are going to be here forever. So I'm going to do this video in sections, kind of, with my books. So first section is going to be books from subscription boxes, and the only one that I have for this is The Upside of Alex Light, and I have already read this. I actually did a reading vlog specifically for this book, so I will leave a link in the description if you guys want to go and check that out. I got to do baking and I really enjoyed this book. It's a book that was on my radar and I got it in the book box, February box, and I really enjoyed it. It's a fake dating story and it's just such a cute, fun, quick, easy read, but go and check that vlog out, or you can expect a recent reads video at some point to hear more of my thoughts on this book. So the next section of this video is books that I have bought from bookshops or I've bought online, and the first one I have is a poetry collection which is The World's Wife by Caroline Duffy, and this is in my spring TBR video along with a few other books in this video as well, which I will leave a link in the description. But this was in the sale. It's absolutely stunning. I've always wanted to read a book solely by Caroline Duffy because I've read a couple of her poems but I've never read a whole collection by hers, and I know apparently from what I've read on the blurb this is about the sisters and like women who are connected to famous men, whether these men are real and they're from the past, if they are fictional, if they're like gods, all that sort of thing, and it just sounds so fun and just so different and kind of like a bit of a laugh, and I've really enjoyed what I have read of Caroline Duffy's work so far, so I'm really looking to picking this up soon and seeing what I think. Next up we have The Diary of a Confused Feminist by Kate Weston, and if you guys watched my last book haul you will know that I received an ARC of this in a book box club for December, and I read it in January. I absolutely fell in love with it, so when I found Asda was selling copies of this book for £4 I knew I had to go and get it. So I have a finished copy now and it's thicker than my ARC, and I think there must be around 50 to 100 extra pages in this book, but this is an absolutely wonderful book. It's probably one of my favourite books of the year so far, and it's about a girl named Kat who's 15 years old, and it's about her navigating her final year of high school. She's in year 11 and she has recently discovered feminism, so she's decided she's going to be a feminist. This book is absolutely hilarious. It also has a much deeper tone to it as well. I feel like if you like Eliza and the Monsters you will like this because of kind of the twist in the last 100 pages, but it's so funny and so relatable for teenage girls who are this age, and a really important story. So if you were going to pick any book from this haul, definitely consider picking this one up because it is just absolutely phenomenal. And also I found out that Kate used to be a stand-up comedian, which is probably why this book is so funny. Next up I have 1,000 Perfect Notes by C.G. Drews, and I have also read this book, so you will hear me talk about it in a recent reads video at some point in the future. But this is basically about a boy named Beck, and his mother used to be a professional pianist, but ever since she had a stroke she is no longer able to play professionally because her hands shake, so she forces Beck to play, and Beck doesn't really like this, and This does have a strong trigger warning for domestic abuse, so please be aware of that before going into this book. But this book was lovely, the writing was beautiful, I really enjoyed the characters, I love the music aspect, especially since my family are very musical. I really appreciated that, and it was just a really wonderful read, but like I said, I will talk about it more in a recent reads video. Next up, I have Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins, and I have heard Hayley in Bookland talk about this book and also the companion novel, which is Her Royal Highness. She's talked about them non-stop, especially Her Royal Highness, and it seems like a really cute, fun, easy read, which is what I'm looking for right now. And I don't know much about it apart from the fact that this girl, her sister, is getting married to the Prince of Scotland, I think, and she gets into a bit of trouble, and I don't really know what it's about. I don't desperately care because it's just a cute, fun, fluffy romance, and that is what I'm looking for in a book right now. So it seems lots of fun, so I'm going to savour this until a little later on because this is the only physical book that I have like this on my shelves at the moment, but I'm so looking forward to reading this at some point, and I think I will really enjoy it, and then I can read the companion novel as well. Next up, we have another book from my spring TBR, which is Anne of Ingleside by Ellen Montgomery, which is the final book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and I have been reading this series since 2015. I generally read one book a year. I did read 2 books last year, but this is the final book in the series, and I love this story. It's so charming, and I grew up watching the adaptation Megan follows in, and the first and the second book are definitely my favourite. I don't like the ones that are further on as much, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens and how the story kind of wraps up. There are technically 2 novels in the series afterwards which follow Anne's children, but I don't know if I'm going to follow them yet. I don't know if I'm going to read them yet, but I'm looking forward. This is going to be my next read after the book that I'm currently reading, and I'm looking forward to being back in Prince Edward Island and with all these wonderful characters again. And the last book in this category is Mr. Darcy's Diary by Amanda Grange, and this is a book I have been wanting for quite a while, and this is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, obviously, but from Darcy's perspective, and it is Darcy's diary that he writes during when Pride and Prejudice takes place. And I've seen nothing but good reviews about this book, and I've recently discovered that there is also one for Mr. Knightley, so obviously I'm going to have to read that at some point afterwards, but I'm really looking forward to learning more about Darcy's perspective on the story and kind of getting a whole fresh new view on it, because I want to try and read as many Pride and Prejudice retellings as possible, because I'd love to do a video for you guys recommending all the different Pride and Prejudice retellings, because obviously my channel is named after Pride and Prejudice, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is another one I'll be picking up very soon, and I cannot wait to dive in. And the last pile of books I have are ones that I bought from charity shops. So the first one I have is Circe by Madeline Miller, and again this is a book I've heard nothing but wonderful things about, and all I know is that it is about the Greek goddess Circe, and I know nothing about Circe. I don't even know what sort of god she is. I haven't studied Greek mythology since I was in primary school, so I'm really looking forward to reading this book, and I hope I will enjoy it. I think it's going to be something that I have never read before. I've never read anything like this before, so I'm looking forward to trying something new and seeing what I think. Next up we have Moonrise by Sarah Crossan. I have seen Sarah Crossan's books around everywhere, but for some reason I've never picked them up. I've never literally even physically picked the book up, but when I've looked through them recently in the library I realised that they are all written in verse, which seems very interesting. So now I want to read some of her books, and I'm starting with this one because I found it's not the sort of topic I would generally go for, but it was 75p in the charity shop, so like, how could I go wrong? And all I know is that it is about a boy, and his older brother is on death row, and it is kind of about that subject. It's something that I've never read about before, I've never watched a video about, I don't really know anything about it, so I feel like it's going to be very hard hitting, but I did actually start it a while ago, and I got to page 30 and then I put it down because I was in a reading slump when I read this, but I am definitely going to be picking up at some point and seeing what I think, because I want to read as many books written in verse as possible, so I'm really looking forward to trying this at some point. I feel like it's going to be a very impactful and important read, and if I enjoy it I can read more of Sarah's books in the future. Next up we have my current read, which is Lido by Libby Page, and some of you guys may know I read the 24-Hour Cafe at the beginning of the year. It was one of my most anticipated releases and I really enjoyed it, but I probably shouldn't have read it during a reading slump. That was not a clever idea. But I'm reading this now, I'm not in a reading slump and I'm not very far in. I am about 45 pages in and I'm really enjoying this so far, and it is basically about a woman named Rosemary and a journalist called Kate, and basically it's about them coming together to try and save their local Lido, and that is all I know about it. And I guess that there will be a strong sense of community and friendship, female friendship specifically in this book, as I know that was a main topic in Libby's other book, 24-Hour Cafe. I feel like that's going to be another strong theme in this book as well, and I'm just really looking forward to reading it and getting more into it. I've really enjoyed what I've read so far. I love Libby's writing, that's my favourite thing about her books. So fresh and different and so welcoming. So I'm really enjoying it, and you will definitely hear my thoughts in a recent reads video at some point in the future. Second to last book is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney, and I picked this up totally on a whim. I read the blurb, it sounded interesting, and I don't know much about it, but my friend Kira, she was reading this in a recent reading vlog and she's saying how much she loved it, so that's bumped it up on my TBR list of when I'm going to read it. And what drew me in is the fact that poetry, spoken word poetry specifically, is part of this, like that the characters are involved in, which I love, and it kind of reminds me of the plot of A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood, in the fact that there are two best friends and they meet this couple and they kind of get thrown into this glitzy, glamoury life, and there's romance in here as well, and it just sounds really fun, but I think it does have a deeper and darker tone to it as well. But I'm looking forward to trying something new. From what I have heard about Sally's books, they are very good, so I'm looking forward to trying this one and hopefully I will enjoy it. And the last book that I have on this list is The Language of Flowers by Vanessa Differber. I probably butchered that name really bad, but this was another whim as well. We got this at a book fair, and all I know is that it's about a girl named Victoria and she uses something called the language of flowers. And that hooked me when I found out about that, and I feel like this also deals with the foster care system, and I think it's quite a deep read. I feel like our main character has gone through a lot, but there's just this aspect of flowers and there being a language of flowers, and the language of flowers, like the index or whatever you want to call it, the dictionary of flowers, is in the back of this book, so I'm looking forward to reading that afterwards. I think it's going to be really wonderful and I'm just so looking forward to reading this book. My mum read it and she really enjoyed it, so again it's another book I'm definitely going to be getting to soon, and I really hope I enjoy it because I feel like it is something that is definitely up my alley. So those are all the books for this book haul, considerably smaller compared to my last ones, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed watching it as a little escape from everything that's going on in the real world right now. If you have read any of these books, let me know in the comments your thoughts on them, or if you would like to read any of these books, which ones would you especially like to read, because I would always love to know. If you like this video, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more bookish videos from me, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and little bell icon so you'll be noted every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave links to my social media along with links to my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.